Now, mechanics are very important for ranking up in Counter-Strike, and if you are pretty hard stuck in the lower elo, it probably means your mechanics are terrible. So it's very important that you learn how to counter-strafe. Now, counter-strafing is important because time to kill is the most important thing inside of Counter-Strike, because when you are playing good players, they are able to just swing you and just stop instantly and instantly kill you. So if you learn how to counter-strafe, you'll notice your time to kill will increase and you're gonna get kills a lot more. One example on how to practice counter-strafing is just find any wall, or maybe you want to go into aimbots and just strafe around and practice. And all you want to do is just strafe back and forth and make sure you're shooting when you're tapping the opposite key. So it looks something like this, where I'm just strafing back and forth, making sure that I'm, obviously shooting right down the center. And I'm just going to keep doing this. You see I missed one right here, but you can just do this along the wall. Make sure your counter strafing is good. And this is the best way to practice counter strafing. Now, one other way you could also practice is finding a pre-fire map, or maybe you just want to go into an offline map like I am right now and just practice peeking angles and counter strafing and killing them just like this, making sure my counter strafing is good, pretending I see an enemy and I'm pretending that I'm stopping and shooting him. You can even do it if you want to spray as well, where maybe I'm swinging ramp and I want to stop and spray him like that. That's also a very good tip to do as well. But pre-fire maps are also good for counter strafing because it can work on your crosshair placement, which also moves into my next tip, because crosshair placement will also help you improve your time to kill. Crosshair placement is so important because I see a lot of noobs love to run around looking at the ground, or maybe they're like looking up in the air and they don't really know where to move their mouse, and that could be due to their sensitivity. But it's very important that if you master your counter strafing and your crosshair placement, the time to kill will increase significantly. So then when someone does swing you and you're just at pretty much the perfect head level for your crosshair, you can just instantly stop and almost instantly kill them. Now, one good tip that I have for you for crosshair placement is that a lot of pro players actually don't aim at the head. They aim at the neck level. And they do this because when you do shoot 2 bullets, you can see that how it moves up just a little bit. Since the second bullet is kind of RNG, most of the time it will go up to their head. Have the opportunity to start spraying. So if they do, let's say this is the guy's head right here at the brick and I'm aiming at the neck. If I do see him swing and I start to spray, you can see that my bullets are going to go right to his head and my time to kill will increase a lot more. If you guys didn't know that and you are trying to aim at the head, I really recommend that you guys aim at the neck. Now, for a little bonus tip, if you guys want any skins, make sure you guys check out the sponsor of this video. Now, in the lower elos, a lot of people struggle with capitalizing off of information. One example of this, if I'm on T side and I am walking upper B, let's say I'm the B lurk, or maybe we want to B pop, and I hear this guy running off a cat making so much noise, it's so obvious that there's only one on the B site, and we need to capitalize off of this. So even if I'm alone or if I'm with a group of people, we're going to just walk out on this B guy and just kill him because we know we have the site for free. Another good information sound cue that a lot of us in the higher elos or in pro play really listen for is a lot of flashes in mid. If we hear this A guy just constantly flashing over connector, we know that the extremities are weak because they're obviously fighting for mid. These flashes are for the con player to swing. We'll probably hear a nade breaking the window smoke, and we're also going to expect the cat guy swinging out with the con guy as well, which tells us that, hey, the extremities are weak because there's 3 players fighting for mid, which means our lurkers need to activate and we need to hit the extremities fast. We call this a chaos round, where if we do hear this, all of our lurkers will actually activate. This guy, if he's in Palace, he will walk out, kill the guy in CT or flashing from triple. And this BATS guy will try to find the kill on B and start to walk out. Activate is a really good comm to use for your team, where you can just say, activate, and that will activate your lurkers to just go and find this kill. Because even if they don't hear this information, or maybe they don't understand what's going on, it does paint the picture. So these lurkers understand that if my teammates say activate, there's one guy here and I need to find him. So right now I'm in my favorite warm-up map, and warming up is important, especially if you are solo queuing as well in low elo, because a lot of the times people aren't that good in the lower elos, and if you are solo queuing, you're gonna have to carry. Now, when you warm up, you want to make sure that your flicks are on point, so you want to make sure you're practicing flicking when you find a map that you like. I recommend finding a map like this where the bots are just standing still and you can kind of just focus and warm up your wrist a little bit. Make sure your counter strafing is on point, where you're just strafing around like this, like I talked about earlier, but instead you're also flicking at the same time. And then you want to make sure you're practicing your sprays. You want to make sure your spraying is really, really good. You can also practice some spray transfers if you want. to make sure those are on point as well. But you also want to warm up for maybe 10 to 15 minutes. It really depends on the person. I usually do around 10 minutes, but if I am feeling a little sluggish, I will go to like 15 or 20. So if you aren't warming up, you're really missing a key part in your own game, because you're not going to play that consistent the first game, and you want to make sure that you're winning all your games, especially if you are in low elo. Another cool pro tip that a lot of you guys don't know is learning skill jumps. Skill jumps can pretty much cut your rotation times in half, and it can also get you to parts of the map a lot faster where the CTs or the Ts don't think you are. One example of a skill jump that a lot of pros use is if you just jump out a window and onto cat, this will get you to cat a lot faster, and it will actually help you take mid control as a CT. So if I wanted to sit up there, or maybe I decided to jump and sit on the angle right here behind this little shield, this is a really good headshot angle to hold for guys running out mid. And especially in low elo, a lot of guys don't use flashbangs when they're running out mid, so it's very important that you guys do abuse stuff like this. This is really good for an opper to sit on. If he makes the cat jump, he can come over here and just hold on top, because this is a huge off angle, which a lot of people don't use in the lower elos. So when they are swinging out mid, and maybe they do have good crosshair placement, they're going to be swinging like this, and they're going to have a hard time flicking over to your head. Or maybe you want to sit here and wait for the flashes and then peek out, but these little skill jumps will help you a lot. There's also a good skill jump if you have the best spawn right here on CT side to push Palace, where you run over here on default and you run up here onto Balk, and it really gets you into Palace very quickly, and you can actually meet this T pretty much right here if you do have that spawn and can make that jump. So learning skill jumps can give you the opportunity to make plays. There's also the one over here on the van, where if you run over here on the van and jump up into apps, you can take this angle very quickly, and it's going to help you get those opening kills or get the map control a lot faster. It can also help you with rotations. If I'm in window and I know they're going out B, I can just come in here on window and jump over into ladder, and now I'm already on B. This is a lot faster than me jumping out window to cat or rotating all the way to market. So if you guys don't know any skill jumps, it's very important that you guys go practice those. If you're stuck in low elo, it's very important that you learn lineups. Lineups are very important because it's going to help you take map control, block choke points, and it can also give you space as a CT or T. One example of a good smoke that you guys should know is the Mirage window smoke, where if I aim a little bit left to this pillar right here, I hold my D key and jump throw, it's going to smoke window, and this will help me take mid. Another good smoke to take mid is also the top mid smoke. This one's a lot different than what it was in CSGO. This is going to help me get space. Now, the window smoke blocks information from the window player, and the top mid pretty much blocks information from all the CTs, and it also makes it harder for the CTs to push up mid because they have this big bulky smoke just drooping into valley and on cat, so it makes it really hard for the CTs to get any information if you are out mid. Now, if you don't want to take map control, or maybe you know some common CT smokes, it's very important that you guys learn to smoke choke points. Choke points are very important, especially in connector. A lot of people love to recycle smokes in bottom con because connector is a huge choke point on Mirage, and it's a huge part of the map that the Ts need to take. So if you aren't blocking choke points, it's very important that you guys do start doing that. I know a lot of teams also love to smoke off cat like this. This is another choke point that you can block with a smoke if you guys want to, if they are taking mid, and it also gives you some space. So if you do want to fight mid, you can always creep behind this smoke, jump up on cat, and see if you can get any information or kills. But if you already know about smoking off choke points, it's very important that you learn execution nades. You know, one good nade that a lot of people don't know is the top con smoke. The top con smoke is very good because if you want to throw this, you can take jungle. But if I want to go more in depth, I can also show you the Molotov to Molly deep jungle as well, so then the opera can't sit in here and hold your guys' cross. And it's very important to learn because not only can you run a strat from knowing this certain util, but it's going to come into play in some of the rounds where, you know, maybe you want to set up where you throw right side smokes and then you want to molly like this and then flash connector, and that's really, really good. But if you're ever in like a 3v4 situation and you guys just want to contact out ramp, you can just contact all the way out to the spot, and then you can start to throw this utility, and you don't even have to do a set piece. Just playing around with smokes and learning how to use your smokes in certain situations, it always doesn't have to be a set execution, but if you do learn those set execution pieces, you can definitely pull them out in some weird situations if you're in like a 2v4 or a 3v4, so then you can actually get the site and get the space that you need. Now, if your utility isn't the reason that you're stuck in low elo, it's probably your callouts. Callouts are very important, and I will give you an example of why. If I am the A anchor on a site on Mirage, and I see the right side smokes coming in like this, and I'm just jump spotting playing retake, it's very important that I tell my team, hey, they're throwing right side smokes, and then I feed them that information. If I just see one flash pop over ramp over here and I see nobody come out, it's very important that I communicate that it's a fake. Or if I just see one person run out of ramp and it's, you know, obviously just one person, I need to communicate to my team just so these guys over around on this side of the map don't over rotate, because in the lower elos I see a lot of people just over calming. They see A smokes, they just call, hey, it's A, it's A, everyone leaves, and then all of a sudden the T's are out B, and then it's a GG round and you have to save. So if you don't know how to call information, the best tip that I can give you is that you just need to call what you see. Even if you overcom a little bit, I think that's okay. When you're communicating, you need to paint the picture. So for example, if I'm jump spotting here, I would say, hey, I see right side smokes, nothing out ramp yet. Nothing out ramp yet. I think it's a fake, guys. Just stay B, stay mid. So make sure you guys are communicating numbers, communicating what you're seeing, but ultimately make sure that when you do communicate, you want to make sure you're painting a picture in your teammates' mind so they understand what is going on whatever side of the map you're communicating with. Now, since we're talking about communication can help us create setups. Setups is very important to learn, and they're actually very easy to form. If let's say I was the con player, the window player, and I rotated into CT, my A player would be under balc or top balc, and this right now creates a bait setup. So if my B player is like, hey, you know, they just pressure B but nothing's out, it was only one guy, care A, I'm now ready holding a flashbang out for this guy that's sitting under balc for these guys to come out ramp. I'm going to be sitting here jump spotting baiting, and when these T's come out, they're going to think that I'm just playing retake and that I'm the only one on A site. And once I see this guy swing right here, I'm going to instantly be ready to just throw a flash into Apex, and then this guy under balc is going to swing and probably get around 2 guys because some guys are going to be baiting in ramp, and he's going to secure us the round with just that basic setup. You can also run a bait setup in connector, or if I have a teammate just tucked here in con, I can just sit up here and just jiggle and pretend that he's not there. I'm pretty much baiting for him and making the T's think that I'm the only player like playing for connector. So when they do swing or flash peek it, they see me here, and they're probably going to run up and try to chase me, or they're just going to walk in and try to take the space, and this guy's just going to kill him in the back of the head. So if you just learn basic bait setups like that one, or the one for CT and under balc, or even just a basic crossfire for get right and jail, you're going to see a lot more success in your rounds. Now, your crosshair could also be a big part on why you can't rank up, and I will link this map down in the description just so you guys can go and play on it. But this map is a crosshair map which helps you find a good crosshair for you. Now, a lot of crosshairs, it pretty much just depends on the person and what you like, but looking at the pro crosshairs, if you do have a favorite pro, you can definitely go and find whatever crosshair you want, and it's very important that you find what you do like. For example, Xantares has this really big crosshair which I don't really recommend unless you really do like it. The big gap helps you put the player's head right in the center, which I think could help some of you guys. And if you also struggle with your headshot percentage as well, it's very important that you would use a crosshair like NiKo's. NiKo's crosshair is very small, and if you do have that snappy aim, you can easily snap to a player's head just because there's not much room like Xantares' crosshair. But if you are in the lower elos, I would recommend a big crosshair, something like Frozen's. I think this is a really good crosshair for you guys because it's going to help you put the crosshair on their head. It doesn't have a huge gap like Xantares', but it's also very long as well, which can help you track your spray when you are pulling down. But if you do struggle with your spray, you could also use the follow recoil under crosshair as well. Not a lot of top players use this, and I don't think anyone does, but if you are someone that is really good with headshots but you struggle with your spray, you can definitely use the follow recoil crosshair, so then you know exactly where your bullets are going when you are spraying, and it might actually help you out a lot, especially in the lower elos. If you guys haven't played a lot of Counter-Strike, I think the follow recoil option is very, very important. But pretty much anything else I really don't think is that big. You just need to find whatever you like, which is why I'm going to link this map in the description for you guys so you can kind of play around with all these little settings. Now, if you think you have everything figured out and you don't know why you're just hard stuck in the lower elos of Counter-Strike, it's probably your mindset. And I really recommend that you guys do work on your mindset because you can't control everything. When I play on my stream, you guys will see me, I don't really get that mad at my teammates. I might say just one little thing, but then I move on, and that's because you can't control the intangibles. You can't get mad over something that you can't control, and if you do queue up a solo game, you can't really control your teammates and how good they are or how much time they put in the game and how much they've learned. So it's very, very important that you guys just pretty much ignore that fact and try to help your teammates. You need to become a leader in the game, and if you do notice that your teammates are struggling a little bit, you need to help them. You know, maybe even show them some lineups. There's a lot of times where I'm in game where a lot of people don't know the cross smoke, and I have to come here and just ping looking at where to aim for the cross smoke, and I'm trying to help them learn nades and also make them feel involved so they don't feel like they're just, you know, bottom fragging the whole game and not having any impact. So if you do think you're just stuck in your elo and you should be a higher rank, you need to become a leader inside of the game. You need to lead your team. Make sure you're calling strats for them. Make sure you're helping them out with setups, telling them where to move, telling them how to rotate, and you will notice that you win a lot more elo. But that's all the tips that I have for you guys today. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below if you think I missed anything, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.